Welcome to EVE Online. This is targeting time test against a cerberus using an Upwell. Just a random Upwell for absolutely no reason. Alright, so I'm going to go down to heavy missile. And one is assuming if you want to kill something, you can be launching fighters and everything. Of course, I'm assuming that it's at long range and that we're not going to be involving fighters at the moment. I just want to see how long this will last with one type of DPS on it. I'm hoping to last 30 seconds, which is the time for the point. It will last. It'll take a minute to cool down, but the duration is 30 seconds. So I have to last 30 seconds. If I get pointed at, my aim is to kill something before I get pointed. I mean, before I get target locked. So I've consumed a drug, and I'm using halo implants. And this is my fit. I just did a theory craft on it, mostly just to check out the drones, what kind of drones I should need. But this is the fit, just in case you missed it. And what I'm going to be doing is, as soon as I get pointed, and I'll align away and to the Stargate and see if I can get away in time. And I'll look at my damage, but I'm confident I'll be able to survive pretty much anything it can throw at me because I have a large ancillary shield booster. Now, of course, I'm going to be turning that auto repeat off, but I have this if I need it. Alright, it doesn't last very long though. Very short duration. Duration is like 13 seconds. So that's not the full, and we'll turn that on at the tail end, assuming that the fighters are now on us. I know we're really close to the Upwell at the moment. Theoretically, we'd be farther away, and it might take some time for the fighters to get organized. A smart person will not use their MWD on their fighters to get them on target. More likely they want to use them to get out of the way, back to dock when they're being attacked. That's the theory I'm working with. I'm fighting somebody smarter than probably is in play at the moment, that we're up against regularly these days. But I'd rather fight a smarter version and adapt and learn than fight what is actually going on. I'd rather do it the hard way, to learn stuff, to adapt, to be better than, and rise above. Alright, so that's what's going to happen. Here we go. The DPS is pretty substantial. We've got furbolgs and missiles. We'll be doing the missiles first because fighters are that DPS and the missiles are this DPS. So approximately the same if you count in the heavy rocket salvos, but we're not. Major Domo does not have the best skills for structures. It does not affect the fighter damage or anything about fighters, but it will affect the capacitor use of the neutralizers and the damage of the missiles, but not by much. So I don't have any skills. So this is somebody who isn't skilled. Okay? Alright. So we'll try the targeting time, which is the most important thing I wanted to try. So how are we doing for speed there? Okay. I'll get a stopwatch because of the drug. It gives a base time based on the hull and not the halo implants and not the drug. And what happens is you get this flashing afterwards, which is going to be, if you're heavy micromanaging multi-boxing, you'll want to depend on the time you're looking at. And if you're sitting there staring at something, trying to lock, when you expect it to lock right away, it could be extremely frustrating and pressure that person's micro, which is a win, even if it doesn't happen. All right, so let's get up my stopwatch, and let's see how long it takes to start putting damage on. Never mind. All right, 1, 2, 3. So we'll kill what this ship is designed to kill and warp away, hopefully, before it gets a lock on us, because we're landing, we target, takes 6 seconds, loaded the missiles on it, takes about 25 seconds. Hopefully we can get away. If we don't, this is the damage we'll be taking, and I'll hit lap right there, okay, and I'll hit stop as soon as we target lock. There we go. 37 seconds. And I'll get ready to, so I'm locked up. I go, uh-oh, I'm pointed. I have to align. I forgot to do the point on the Upwell, but we'll just see how long we can last, actually, and then count it down from there. So I'm going to hit this. It'll jank us back there. So we're doing pretty good. I'm feeling really confident about this. We are going to engage the target painter and see how much more damage we can do and whether it pressures our tank. Not really. Yeah, so we can last all this time. If we start getting the fighters on us too at the same time, we'll be pressured, but by this time we will be able to get away, because by then it's got a minute cooldown for the point, and you can't put more than one point on, so there you go. Orbit 1000. Oops, my bad. Whoop. There we go. So yeah, it would be, as soon as you get the fighters on you, you'd probably have to press this for sure. There we go, and let's get the fighters, F1, there we go, and we'll probably start taking substantial damage right now. And we'll run out of, but by that time we'll have lots of time. And have we run out of, no, we're still firing missiles. So by the time we run out of cap, by the time, yeah, and right now I'll hit this and I'll be able to get away, no problem. I'm reloading, yeah, and lots of spare time, even if he gets fighters on us. So yeah, even though that wasn't flawless, it did show you that my fits are designed specifically to take something out and warp away before I'm locked, and if I'm locked, to survive just long enough, even under heavy Upwell fire, to get away. And this is against light craft designed to, this is an anti-support, just to pressure his micro. Mainly the person we're dealing with goes with Zergling Rush of Megathrons, so that's his main tactic. So anything beyond that would, pressure his micro. So if there's somebody on the field putting damage on his Upwell, he won't have much time to dick around with combat probing, using neutrals, getting in position, warping a Punisher, which he usually does, or Tyrannus, which he usually does, or Svipul, he'll sometimes do. And this is designed to take out the Svipul. I've got a Loki designed to take out the Punishers and Tyrannus, and that'll be up next. So yeah, I mean, bag of tricks, once it's used, they'll just stop war decking you and pick another target, because why would they change? It works good for them. It would just confuse them. I've tried to explain the benefits of ravens to people, 200 click ravens, and they still refuse to. How many people can't do ravens? I mean, they're high-sec Care Bears. What the? So it boggles the mind, but people are set in the ways, and they don't know how to theory craft, and they've got a doctrine probably borrowed from some null-sec alliance they were part of, or somebody was part of, and they can't change because they don't know how to change. And so that's what I'm counting on for Mr. Bag of Tricks, person we're dealing with currently, because he's got a limited bag of tricks, and I haven't seen it change. It varies. He's got a bag of tricks, but I don't think I've seen his fits. They're just, some of them are freaking horrible. So yeah, it just a little bit of thought would have gone a long way to fixing it. But yeah, that's the theory, and I'm super happy this is working out fine. Really happy. And I'll 37 seconds. That's 25 seconds to destroy a svipul on average. Plus or minus one volley of the missiles, and that's a huge amount. That's like 11 seconds extra, at least, to get off the field again, because he'll have combat probes but if you're killing his svipul, he might panic, right? And 25 seconds is a quick time, and if he's pointed, somebody else points him, it's dead, get off the field, and that cerberus job. Try anything fancy with it, because there's other fits that'll do better against smaller ships like the Loki. And it's just adapt, figure out a counter, and if he counters, that's great, because then I can evolve even more. There's an imminent threat. He's war decked as, not anymore, but he'll war deck as again shortly, I'm sure. I think he just war decks people, and then plays with the war decks between people who are cooperating, deciding who to attack, and he even takes these holding corps, like this particular when I'm testing it, it's his TAR HQ, and he's got one holding corp holding it, and the other one is another corp, one-man corp or something, and the other one is another one. They're all their HQs, and if he gets it into hull timer, he just leaves alliance with that corp, and so it doesn't affect his Zeke. It's yes, poor sportsmanship. So he's playing games, and the next test I want to do is wars. I mean, how do the mechanics work? How you share logi between, what happens when you try to share logi, all that stuff. It's like a whole bunch of questions that I've heard answers to, but I want definitive, like I'm looking at it kind of thing. What happens between, if two people are being war decked by one person, I know they can't share logi, and I know they go criminal if they try, but what about defenders getting allies? Can allies do it? And how about your own alliance? If you're a war deck, can corporation into the same alliance rep a corporation? I'm pretty sure they can, right? So when do you turn suspect? What happens? If I recall correctly, it's something about you share suspect tag when you're repping somebody. Kind of, it is different now because of the way, which is good, but all this stuff, it's like, when it's understandable as a theory, but as soon as you get thrown into it, it's like you want to do something now, but it's like, oh wait, what happens when I do this? And it's a practical application of the theory, that's for sure. All right, so that'll be enough of that. So that's what I'm focusing on next, after I deal with the Loki test coming up next, and then war decks and logistics.